Airbnb versus VRBO. Which is better? Okay, so first of all, Airbnb and VRBO are not the same things. Of course, that seems like a trivial distinction, but it's important to know that they are different. They're not targeting the same people even. You have to recognize that VRBO actually started in Europe versus Airbnb was started in America for two completely different types of travelers. Let's get into it. So, Airbnb was actually started when you have a spare bedroom in your home and you have just a couch or an air mattress or something. That's what Airbnb specialized in. That's how they started. But VRBO, on the other hand, VRBO was started as a vacation rental booking operation. VRBO, that's what they stand for. They stand for V right there in the name, vacation. That's not just a spare bedroom. That's an entire unit. They're not just booking rooms. So these are targeting travelers. That's who books on VRBO. So if you're thinking about a strategy for which one is better, you actually have to go back and understand why the platforms were formed in the first place, because then that will give you an idea to understand why there are even a distinction between the two. Because if you understand that, then you'll understand how to make both work for you. So here's the thing. Airbnb is the more unique platform. What do I mean? Airbnb, you can rent cabins, you can rent mansions, villas, bedrooms, you can rent a tent, you can rent RVs, you can even rent just a car for a night. You can sleep in a car on Airbnb. These exist. You can sleep in a tent. You can just sleep on the ground. You can rent ground space after hiking on Airbnb. This is what Airbnb is known for. But VRBO is quite different from that. These are people who are traveling from Europe. They're looking for a house for their family. They're booking months in advance and they're booking for maybe 2 weeks at a time. Those are the people who are booking on Airbnb, on VRBO rather. So VRBO is targeting people who are looking maybe 6 months in advance, 9 months in advance to book for next Christmas, for next summer. That's who is booking on VRBO. And if you don't understand that, then you may be using the same principles on both and wondering why one works better than the other, but they are not the same. So that's the first thing that we have to cover, that they are different. It's not a trivial distinction. We have to acknowledge that they are different. There's a fly flying around, by the way. I'm not sure where that fly came from. I'm currently in Suriname. I'm a millionaire traveling. I am in real estate. I've been doing Airbnb for a very long time, so I know what I'm talking about. But if you see that fly around, I have no idea how to get rid of that fly. Anyway, so what we're talking about right now is that we are looking at the difference between Airbnb and VRBO. The next thing that you have to acknowledge is that not only are they different, but the tactics that you would use to make your entire real estate portfolio fit together is different. Here's how you use both of them. If you have an entire space, Airbnb is very useful for getting those last minute bookings. If you have a place that's, just 2 weeks right now available, then Airbnb is very useful for that. However, if you have a place, a villa that fits maybe 12 people, that's something that you're going to want to invest a lot of time into on VRBO. Because VRBO is very good for booking large groups of people for months in advance. So then, if anything, your VRBO calendar might get booked up first, and then what's left gets booked on Airbnb. Now, what I found is that Airbnb actually gets you a higher nightly rate. That's because of traffic. I think there are more people on Airbnb. So if you're looking to maximize for profit, then Airbnb will actually get you those last minute bookings at really good rates. But your calendar can be filled by VRBO first, which is the difference. You'll also find that if you're a host, Airbnb is really easy to use and get started. They've made it that way. It's really user friendly versus if you go onto the VRBO platform, it's not as user-friendly as Airbnb, right? So for example, even some of the discounts offering pricing strategy, those things that are available on Airbnb, they're just not available on VRBO. For example, 2-night minimums, 2-night discounts, 3-night discounts, 5-night discounts. It's not available on VRBO, but it is available on Airbnb, which can actually make you have more control and give you that edge when it comes to pricing strategy. This is the problem, by the way, when you're looking at price strategy and you're trying to do price strategy, let's say price Wheelhouse or any one of those price labs or any one of those pricing softwares, what they're going to do on VRBO cannot be done on Airbnb. And so then you get a standard booking fee, but if you can't add those additional discounts, which we know are very useful, and if you can't do additional price strategy in the Airbnb platform itself, then you are actually leaving money on the table. So to answer the question at the beginning, drum roll please. That's the weakest drum roll I've ever heard. To answer the question at the beginning, which is better, Airbnb or VRBO? Or VRBO? Which is better? Well, the answer boils down to you. If you are making more money in an area that Airbnb is more popular, then you should definitely prioritize Airbnb first. But understand that VRBO can be a part of your booking strategy. For me, I'm booking somewhere around 60% Airbnb, maybe 20% VRBO, and the rest is off platform. So then that could actually be more useful if you are thinking about adding direct booking to your strategy. If you want more advice on that, I have plenty more videos here. Click to watch the next one.